The Syrian civil war has raged now for 13 years. One group fighting against the country's autocratic president, Bashar al-Assad, at least in 2012, was the Islamic State, or ISIS, who viewed journalists as enemies as well. Jim Foley, an American freelance reporter with the online news agency Global Post, covered the conflict and was captured by a group of ISIS terrorists from the United Kingdom. Many will remember this last image of Jim before he was killed in 2014 after being held hostage for 2 years. In their new book, American Mother, Jim's mother, Diane Foley, along with novelist Colin McCann, are now telling Jim's story, but they're also telling Diane's story of confronting one of her son's killers face to face, something many people may not know. Diane, thank you so much for taking the time to sit with us. I will just tell you my condolences for your son. Covered this for the better part of 10 years, and I'm sure 10 years even in, it's still remarkably painful. So thank you for coming and talking to us about this. You say in this book that, you know, Jim wanted to cover the human spirit. I mean, he's covered wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Syria, all over. Why did he want to do it in war zones? What was it about that? Because it's very particular for journalists to want to be in war zones.
Well, I think at that initially it was because he had 3 younger siblings in the military. But also Jim was quite a pacifist, so he was interested in why people go to war. Why did soldiers choose to go to war? And what happens to the civilians? What happens to the innocents in the midst of war? So he really felt a lot of these stories were something we needed to hear, that they were essential stories for us to understand.
You decided to meet one of the men found responsible for Jim's death, Alexander Cote. You spoke to him in a Virginia courtroom after he pleaded guilty to conspiracy to murder. I guess this would for sure be an individual choice, but why talk to him at all?
Jim would have wanted me to. It was odd. Once I had the opportunity, I thought, yes, Jim would have done that and would not have wanted me to be afraid. And he also would have wanted me to hear him out. And as a mom, I wanted to tell him about Jim. So I thought, well, there's some openness there. He's offering this as part of his plea deal. So I felt certain I wanted to meet him.
Did he ever apologize?
To me, he did.
He did?
Several times. Several times. Not for what he did, but for what he did, what we went through, what we endured.
Understood.
Yeah.
You say in the book that you were bitter that it took 3 days for President Obama to call your family. What things do you wish the U.S. government had done differently to try to free Jim?
Well, I was more angry and bitter that I had been told over and over that Jim was our country's highest priority, when in fact that wasn't true. And after he was so horrifically killed, I was just angry. I felt as an American that we could do much better, that I wish they'd just been honest with me and told me they didn't have any idea what to do.
And you founded the James W. Foley Legacy Foundation in honor of Jim, obviously, and all the Americans wrongfully detained abroad. What was your hope in also writing this book?
Well, I want the average American to know that they can make a difference. We can make our country better. And that even an ordinary person like myself and Jim's death has made a difference for others, that now our country prioritizes the return of U.S. hostages and wrongful detainees, though it's still not easy. I mean, it's very difficult. And I also want folks to value our journalists, particularly those working so hard to investigate the issues and be an unbiased observer, and people who dare to go into conflict zones and attend riots and risky endeavors to bring us what's going on.
Yeah. Well, Jim certainly did, and it's a remarkable spirit you have, and a real pleasure to meet you. Thank you for sitting with us. Thank you for the book, Diane Foley. Your book that you wrote with Colin McCann is available now.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.